would say that I right now am a model for probably some of your listeners who are working at a regular day job and are trying to figure out how to build something of their own. And you can do both at the same time. You can be working your day job and you can be building these other things that maybe aren't drawing enough stability and income for you to work full time at it. But you are exploring, you're building, you're creating opportunities, and you're laying the foundation of something that you'll be able to stand on later.
And what I teach around here is I want to eventually make it too expensive for you to go to work anymore. because the side stuff is making you money. But you're a pretty daring guy, I got to tell you, because I understand you wrote a novel with your wife, and most people have World War III on picking where to eat this evening. How did you do such a thing?
Yeah, I did. So first of all, funny thing to talk about on a show called Screw the Commute, because the original name is, so that book was called Mr. Nice Guy, but the original title of that book that I for years, this is what we were calling it, was called Screw the Critics. And the reason for that is because it was a book about, it's a romantic comedy. It has absolutely nothing to do with entrepreneurship. It's about two people who each week sleep together and then critically review each other's performance in the magazine. And it was an idea that I had.
Do the readers of the magazine know that that this critique is about the husband or wife of the other?
It's a recurring column, and it is the woman is the longtime sex columnist for the magazine, and the guy is anonymous for most of the book until, I mean, the reader of the book knows who he is, but the people, inside the world of the book do not, and there's good reason for that, and then it gets revealed.
But if she is portraying herself as a slut that's like sleeps with somebody different every week, or they know it's the same guy.
She's portraying herself in a kind of Carrie Bradshaw Sex and the City way, where she's out there experimenting with her own sex life so that you, the reader, can understand what it's like to be a single person in the city.
But it's the same guy every week.
That's her shtick. But in this case, I mean, it wasn't for a long time. She was doing this for a while.
Okay.
And then she meets this guy at a bar. I mean, now if you want to know the whole thing, she meets this guy at a bar, and then she skewers him in the magazine, and then he reads the magazine because ... he works at the magazine. They just didn't realize that he's a low-level fact checker who just got a job there, and so he writes a reply anonymously, and they run it. And so now there's a kind of battle of these two people who had this one-night stand and then insulted each other in the magazine, and so of course there's a lot of interest in this. Readers want more, and so the editor of the magazine sets a thing up where these two people will each week sleep together and then critically review each other in this magazine. And but for quite a while, the young fact checker manages to evade detection of who he really is. And then, of course, it comes out at some point. So this was an idea that I had in my 20s, and I had no idea how to write it, because I do a lot of kinds of writing, magazine writing, script writing. I've even done some television development, but fiction novel writing is just not. It was not something I was good at. And then I married, as it would happen, a novelist, and she knows how to write.
Well, that was sneaky. I mean, I never heard anybody who wants to be a big-time author went and married one to get there.
I'll tell you, it's the greatest hack. If you don't know how to write a novel, then marry one who does. And so we decided after her second or third novel was published, she was trying to figure out what to do. And I said, why don't you write this idea that I've always had that, we both think is funny, but I'm never going to do it. Like, I've tried, I've failed. It's not going to happen. And she said, well, let's just do it together. And so we did. It took about 3 years to do. And I will tell you, because you said, as many people have, that doing something like this sounds like World War
Pictionary. People get divorced over Pictionary.
So here's the answer. I mean, this is what worked for us. And I think that this is important for really any partnership of any kind. Distinct roles and responsibilities. We had to understand what each of us was bringing and then what we were functionally the CEO of. What parts of this process were we each the CEO of? And then we are going to defer to the CEO depending on what the circumstance is. And that was really helpful. So she is a much stronger writer in certain ways than I am, and I can do things better than she can in other ways. And so we divided the labor up.